Hey players, so let's talk about the border, Applehead Abbott defying the Supreme Court ruling, and the weaponization of the Texas National Guard, and how the Republicans are standing in line to support this mess. So the Supreme Court granted a request from the Biden administration to allow federal Border Patrol agents to cut or move razor wire that was installed by Texas along the Mexico border. Now, one of the places that it was installed was Eagle Pass. So of course, Applehead Abbott and the Republicans were not happy with the Supreme Court's ruling, so they vowed to ignore it, and that they did. The next day after the ruling came down, when the Border Patrol agents removed some of that razor wire, Texas had National Guard ready and willing to reinstall that razor wire. So despite the fact that between March of 2021 and July of 2023, at least 74 people were killed and another 189 were injured as a result of 49 pursuits by Texas troopers or local law enforcement due to this razor wire, they continue to want this razor wire to be in place, even though U.S. Border Patrol agents have said that this razor wire is a hazard to them and the migrants. So the Supreme Court's decision temporarily allows Border Patrol agents to continue cutting and moving that razor wire that has been installed by Texas. However, since the ruling came through an emergency docket, the case is now passed back down to the lower court, who will hear oral arguments. Applehead Abbott has continued to defy the Supreme Court, and now we have Republican governors and also Republicans in the House and the Senate that support Applehead Abbott defying the Supreme Court. Now, Applehead Abbott is saying that he is doing this because he has a right to protect Texas. Applehead Abbott, Republican governors, and House and Senate Republicans, including Moscow Mitch McConnell, is laying the problems of the border squarely on President Biden's shoulders. However, this whole debacle at the Texas border, in my opinion, is working exactly the way the Republicans want it to work, because they do not want President Biden to solve the problems at the border. Republicans have admitted openly on social media as well as television that they will not be willing to work with President Biden or the Democrats to solve any problems at the border. We have one Republican representative that said on CNN, "Let me tell you, I'm not willing to do too damn much right now to help a Democrat and to help President Biden's approval rating." This right here is confirming that it's all about politics. And not only do these do-nothing Republicans show us on social media and when they go on Faux News or one of these podcasts that they don't give a shit about what's going on in the border, it also shows us when they're doing their jobs. Because guess what? House Republicans voted to cut Custom and Border Protections personnel, and they opposed President Biden's record-breaking border security funding proposal, and they refused to take up President Biden's supplemental funding request. Baby, they don't give a shit about what's going on at the border. They don't want to fix the problems. They show us on social media. They show us when they go on these podcasts with Steve Bannon, and they also show us when they vote, because they do not vote to do things that will help in this situation. You know why this is happening? Because of Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. But hey, don't just listen to me. Take it from a seasoned Republican, Mitt Romney.
This is what he wants, the issue, Donald Trump. This is what he's doing.
I think the border is a very important issue for Donald Trump. And the fact that he would communicate to Republican senators and congresspeople that he doesn't want us to solve the border problem because he wants to blame Biden for it is really appalling. But the reality is that we have a crisis at the border. The American people are suffering as a result of what's happening at the border. And someone running for president ought to try and get the problem solved, as opposed to saying, "Hey, save that problem. Don't solve it. Let me take credit for solving it later."
I declare, honey, what a disgrace. It all leads back to Frumpy to the motherfucking dump and his tank. So while y'all running around here wondering why these migrants are sleeping in airports, while they're being bused to this state and they're overrunning New York City and all this kind of stuff, I want you to think about it, and I want you to have this face here in your head, because this all leads back to Frumpy to the motherfucking dump. You can't tell me that you love this country and you're doing things like this because you want to win the presidency. Like Mike Pissy Pence told us, Frumpy Dump doesn't love this country. He only loves himself. Players, put your thoughts in the comments. This is Double D Mova for the Black Accurate News.